Hello, welcome to Inspiring Women with ADHD. This is my podcast. I'm Renee Allen, and I'm excited to be here with you. So, I was just downstairs. I wasn't actually planning to make this podcast today, but so many things happened that are so typical ADHD that I thought I've got to come up here and talk about this because there are so many strategies, there are so many methods that can help us in our lives, in our daily, what do we want to do? What do we want to avoid? Can we accomplish something today? How do we function? There's so many methods and patterns and things that we can develop. But just because we do them once, twice, many, many times, even for a year, I feel like we have to be on guard because it's so easy to fall into a trap or just let our brains take over and get so far away from what we normally have to strengthen the ability to do. And the example I'm thinking of, well, first of all, let me go back to my son, my youngest son. He's a lot like my oldest son. I did not know anything about ADHD then, but I worked a lot with my oldest son with his teachers from the time he was in kindergarten. I kind of think of it as head to head. You know, we come together, the meeting of minds, and we meet with teachers and the whole bit to figure out how can we best serve him and make it easier, hopefully, for the teachers. And the teachers were wonderful, came up with a lot of methods, and I helped him along the way. And by about 7th grade, he matured quite a bit. And it made it a lot easier. So with my youngest son, I thought, okay, if we can just get him to 7th grade, I know that some of this is development, is brain development, as well as methods that work. In 1st grade, we moved away and to a completely different town, different school, and I told that teacher, here are some things that we did with my older son when he was this age that the teachers did that were really wonderful, that worked so well for him. And she said, I don't want to do anything special. I don't want to give special treatment to him, extra attention to him, any more than the other students. And I thought, well, if you don't now, you will later. Negative instead of positive. Anyway, that whole year was kind of a disaster because she was always calling me, always telling me what was wrong, blah, 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 blah. And I worked in the class. I tried to, help out. Anyway, at one point she came up with something to kind of measure his progress. And she called me up and said, I'm so excited. He had a good day today. He was positive today. He was good all day long. And I thought, that is so great. And but I said, but don't expect it to be the same way tomorrow. Like, just because he did this today, it's not like he learned something that changed him and the way his brain works. It just means he had success with it today. And when I went to pick him up after school, I remember him standing there, and as soon as I opened the door, his shoulders kind of shrunk, and he said, I don't know if I can ever do that again. Like, it took everything he could muster up to have that much such self-control. And that was, a good day for him, but the other days weren't very much like it. I don't know if he had another day like that year with that teacher. But I feel like that can be the same way for us, is that we can find a new method, find a new strategy, whether it's like putting sticky notes up so we don't forget this, or setting alarms on our phones so we don't forget that. All of those things are really helpful and useful. And if we rely on our own, hopefully developed new pattern ability, it may not continue to work. So this morning I got up before 7, came into the kitchen, had an idea of what I wanted to do. I didn't really write to-do lists because they overwhelm me, but I might put a sticky note up that says, do this. Or now I have a chalkboard with colorful chalk that I write each day what I don't want to forget next to the calendar. I have multiple things, and I'll talk about that more later. But this morning I thought, get on your computer and just check your email. That was about 7. 10 a.m., I got up from my computer and realized that I had just gone on this whole spiral. We have an occasion that we're going to go, an event that we're going to go to next Friday, and I decided to buy a hat for it. And I went down that rabbit hole of reading reviews. Should I order from here? Oh, it won't get here by then. Should I order from this website? Reading more reviews. Oh, maybe that's not a good idea. On and on and on and on. And the only reason I got up from my computer is I saw that there's a store about 25 minutes away that carries them, because I just wasn't sure on the sizing. And this one hat I was deciding on, they said the sizing was inconsistent. And it wasn't just order a size up. There was one person that said it runs big, and then that just threw me. So I thought, just drive to the store and try it on, just buy one there. And then you don't have to deal with ordering multiple and shipping some back. And then they only had options for that with an extra $10 shipping, and I didn't want to absorb that if I didn't have to return and so forth. Anyway, my point is, I wasn't on guard when I got on the computer, and when I see myself going into a spiral like that, I've got to have some protective measures. I've made sticky notes for myself before that have said, only email. Don't click on something. Or if you have a new idea, write it down. So that's another method I really love to have, is a notebook next to me. It just says do later list. It's not a to-do list, it's a do later list. Does it mean I need to do it later? No, it doesn't. It just gets whatever's in my mind, like, oh, you should look for a hat, and just write that down. And even if I never look at that list again, at least I got it out of my mind and didn't spend 3 hours doing it. I do look at the list sometimes and see if there's something I really need to do, but a lot of times I don't. It just gets it out of my mind from all those thoughts that just pop up. I kind of think of it like popcorn, pop, 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 pop. All those ideas that just get us off task, off in some world of who knows what. Who knows what. And what was funny is once I got up from my computer and thought, okay, go put on some makeup, go drive to the store. And the whole reason I didn't drive to the store to begin with was, oh, that takes a long time to get down there and back. 25 minutes there, 25 minutes back, walk around the store for 15 minutes. That would have been less than 3 hours. But the overwhelm of, oh, that takes so long to get there. And then I'll have to park and walk in. All those things that stop me from going somewhere. It isn't the reality of the time that I wasted. Another thing I was thinking about was, or that made me laugh. Once I got up from my computer, I walked around in the kitchen and realized I had made, I don't know if you like acai bowls, but I found a way to make the acai, just the little packets that you could get wherever. And I thought, I haven't made those in a long time. I've had those packets in my freezer for probably 6 months. I just bought some strawberries. I just bought some bananas. And so I blended up the stuff for the acai yesterday and ate one last night. And so this morning I thought, oh, have another one of those this morning for breakfast. So I took the acai out of the freezer and put it on the counter. So in however many minutes, an hour, half hour, I'd check it with a fork and see if I could, smash it up, put it in a bowl, and eat that for breakfast. When I got up, 10 o'clock, it was completely liquid. So now I have to freeze it again. I also saw that I'd made some tea. I love this throat coat tea, and my throat was a little off this morning. So I made the tea, was having it simmer on the counter. It was cold. It was room temperature. I drank it room temperature. Anyway, I walked around and saw the things that I had completely forgotten about, because my brain was so off in a different direction. So I don't know if this ever happens to you, if you can relate to that at all, but I know I want to have those safeguards, those strategies in place, that when I sit down to do email, what can I do if I only want to sit and do email, maybe there's something else I need to do with my computer. But if I only want to look at my email and see if there's something that I really need to see and act on right then I write myself a little note. Just do this, stay focused. And then I have my notebook of all those other ideas that come up, and often those turn into tabs on the computer. And I don't know if you end up with 20, 30 tabs or whatever on your computer. I do. And then I'm afraid to log out of them because what if I forget something? But find the strategy that helps you, whether it's a sticky note, whether it's a notebook, whether it's a combination, whether it's an alarm that says you've got 5 minutes to be on your email. I also used to use the strategy of don't check your email till like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Is there anything so urgent at 7 in the morning? There might be. So, but that could be a strategy for you if checking your email multiple times a day sends you off track multiple times a day. Just have maybe 1 or 2 times that you check your email. Or maybe you only check it from your phone because then you won't respond, and then maybe you could write a sticky note of, I'll respond to that later. Another strategy that can be helpful for email is, let's say you open it. So when I mentioned you may not answer it on your phone, it kind of drives me crazy to write a lot on my phone, so I'd rather write it on a computer. So that does help me not spend too much time because I don't want to respond on my phone unless it's urgent, I'm not home or something. But another thing that you could do when you open your email and you think, I need to take care of this later, is just to click that little envelope that's at the top. And you may already know this, but it's open. You can just close it. And then the next time you open your email, it'll be at the top like it hasn't been read before. So that's one thing. Or sometimes I actually just reply to myself. I don't know if this makes any sense, but maybe it's something that I don't really need to deal with till Friday. So I'll click reply, and at the top, I'll take out whoever it was who sent it to me, put my own email in there, which usually comes up automatically. It's not like I have to write it out or anything. And then I just click schedule send and choose another day for it to come in my email. Maybe a day that I'm going to sit and do that more. I don't have as much going on. So, yeah, lots of ideas, lots of strategies, and it's not just emails that get in the way, but we do have a lot of distractions from our internet life. It's helpful and distracting. And even just the night before closing out tabs that might get you off track, which is really what happened with me today. So, I appreciate you being here today. I hope it was helpful for you in some way. Next time, I plan to talk more about the distractions that we have, identifying which ones are getting in the way, and some of them may be valuable. They may be things that we need to shift to, but being able to identify them and prevent them from lasting very long or even getting there in the first place can be really, really helpful. So I hope you join me the next episode. And until then, if you're enjoying this podcast, if you think about it, unless it's too much of a distraction, leave me a review. And hopefully that'll help other people find my podcast. More women can come together who have ADHD and have these unique struggles. At least they're unique to us. And I know that it's very helpful for me to talk to people who understand, who I can identify, helps me laugh about the silly things that happen and help support me with the frustrating parts. Thank you so much for listening to Inspiring Women with ADHD with me, Renee, who has ADHD like you do. I really appreciate you being here. May we all inspire each other and thrive. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
and shadows. Frozen dreams are left for tomorrow. Without a cause, no time for a pause. Rewind, I've run out of time to sing melodies and harmonies. I'm cut short, the silence of sound has yet been found, but not by me.